Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is a story of what if Sasuke regrets his decisions and want to make atonement for his sin. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, it will surely help me, and also it will notify you on my upcoming videos, and check the description for the creator of this great fanfic. Thank you. Now let's start the story. Chapter 4. First day academy. Sasuke smiled as Naruto was at his side. The girl was on her mood swings. One moment she hated his guts for being an asshole most of her life, which he understood and apologized profusely, as it was a sin that he wished to correct. The next she was a wrecked, insecure, sobbing mess, which made him comfort her to his delight, as she kinda melted in his arms. Her current mood was the pissed off stay away, as she currently was. Sasuke gave her enough distance as he knows better than to cross the deceivingly strong girl. He was just looking away when the mother of all catastrophes arrived. First, both Sakura and Ino arrived at the same time. Last time, Naruto had no one, but today she have him, the Hokage, Hinata. Kakashi also. Sasuke-kun. Sakura rushed to try and push Naruto away so she can sit next to the raven. Key word, try. Quicker than lightning, Naruto grabbed the pinkett by her arms and hurled her at Ino like a missile. Sasuke smirked as the two girls rolled away in a tangled mess of limbs. He smirked even more when Naruto glared at them with a pair of venomous, icy cold blue orbs that made him fall head over heels in the future that no longer exist. Don't you dare give yourself the right to choose the only man I can respect in this classroom. Naruto's warning made Sasuke feel something that long since left him, pride. Pride of having his son back, pride that she's possessive, and pride at her finally breaking her mask. Sasuke then noticed the glint in her eyes and blush. She wanted him to do something, anything. Smirking in advance, he did something no one else had expected the cold and distant introvert to do. He kissed his rival, friend, and love of his life. Sasuke kissed Uzumaki Naruto. Hinata squealed as the other girls fumed. The Uchiha deepened the kiss, almost turning it into a making out session before he held himself and stopped at exploring Naruto's wet cavern and wrestling tongues. In the end, they broke the kiss, and judging by her blush and shocked expression safe for her now warm eyes, he guessed that she liked it. He felt her struggle in his iron-like grip he called a hug, only for the raven-haired preteen to shake his head. Sasu Sasuke, you can let go now. Naruto asked in a bit of an ashamed manner as the Uchiha smirked. Nope. Don't wanna. I'm never letting you go, Naruto Koi. He said in a husky tone, and as Sakura and Ino screeched her name, Sasuke broke his hug, or rather hold, but he kept her hand in his own before he sent them his most terrifying death glare. Harm a single hair on her, and I swear it upon my honor and the souls of my entire clan, I will kill each and every one of you after massacring your loved ones. Am I clear? He then used his killing intent on them. Some buckled, some pissed themselves, and Sakura and Ino felt like they were going to really die by the Uchiha's hand. Alright class, to your. Why are these girls out cold? What's THST stench? Sakura, Ino, snap out of it. Haruka's voice made the entire classroom look at both a smirking Sasuke and a blushing Naruto who hid her face in her sleeves. Team 7, Haruno Sakura, Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, your Jonin sensei will be Hatake Kakashi. Haruka announced, and the three had their heads banging on the desk. Oi, Haruka sensei. Why are me and Sasuke-kun with Naruto baka? Sakura asked, and Naruto glared at her. Why are we stuck with a dead weight? Naruto replied as Sasuke nodded. Sure, Sakura was book smart, but apart from that, what can she contribute to the two powerhouses? Well, the teams were made to be balanced. We'd put the rookie of the year, the best kunoichi with the dead last. Haruka told them, and Sasuke exploded in rage. Bullshit if Naruto is worse than Sakura. Bullshit if Sakura and Ino are better than Hinata. Bullshit if I would not have graduated years ago. Bullshit that Bunshin test on a fucking Uzumaki of all people. Sasuke's explosion made the entire class look at him like he grown a second head. Hinata can kick my ass if she wants to in taijutsu, Naruto can kick everyone's ass but me right here and now, I can kill the entire classroom but Naruto in 10 seconds flat. See you Haruka sensei. Naruto waved as Sasuke took them both to his own apartment. He looked at her as she gave him a questioning look. What? He asked heatedly as she pouted cutely at him. You shouldn't have done that. Naruto replied as he shook his head. Okay, I overreacted, but I was sick and tired of them underestimating you and Hinata. As for me, I wanted them to learn that they have a lot to catch up to. If they can. Sasuke replied as she sighed. This is going to be Yuji. He didn't finish his thoughts as she pulled him to a searing kiss. As she released him, she found him blushing at her. Got you this time, Tem. You were serious about it? She asked and he nodded dumbly. Never in his life he would have thought that she would love him this fast. You better be careful. But I think that maybe we can date, sometimes. And I never thought that you can be shy. Hey, only you. Sasuke muttered before he gave her a full-on toothy grin. It was so. You can grin. Wow, I am impressed. Suits you more than the usual scowl. You should smile more, you know. Naruto told her boyfriend, who nodded. He was really lucky. His future is finally set. As they walked back to the academy, or rather, Sasuke carried her back, as she was having a bit of trouble walking a lot in her first period, they realized something. Wind and fire makes an inferno. Sasuke insisted on going to Tenten's weapon shop. She protested before he pointed that, A, he's paying and B, it was a late birthday present. Tenten's, yo, I think that you have 2 customers. Sasuke announced as he walked inside with Naruto, who was now walking slowly. The Uchiha waved at the older girl. Hello and welcome to my shop. How can I help you? She asked. I'm Tenten. Sasuke. He replied curtly, this ball of sunshine and cuteness is Naruto. I'd like a sword, and a weapon suitable for her. He replied calmly. Hey, are you a genin? Naruto asked shyly. Tenten nodded. Cool, we just graduated, so. Yeah. She then flinched as Tenten observed her very thoroughly before she walked inside and came back with a 2 feet long Chikudo and a steel 2 feet long Kanabo, which Naruto played with before she smiled. I love it. You. She turned to Sasuke, who smirked. Feels better. How much? He asked and the girl told him. He nodded as he gave her the right amount as Naruto was shocked. It's cheaper than a set of kunai and shuriken. I think that I would come back later. She muttered as Sasuke felt his blood boil once again. That was the last fucking straw. He and Kakashi will make a lot of night raids, it seems. Academy Sakura waited alone for 2 long hours as neither Naruto nor Sasuke were there. The 2 were out before Uruka-sensei could have finished his words, and they didn't even return yet. Sakura sighed dejectedly as she felt that her teammates have already abandoned her. Then, they both got in with their sensei. You're all late. Sakura screeched and Naruto gave her a deadpan look. Sasuke gave her a thumb down, and Kakashi sighed. Sorry, we were lost in the path of life, and found this lost soul. Sasuke replied mirthfully and Naruto chuckled while Kakashi gave him a thumbs up. Well then, let's go somewhere else. Follow me. Kakashi ordered as the 3 walked behind him. Sasuke stealing glances at Naruto, Sakura looking at her with jealousy, and Naruto totally oblivious to the rest of the team. Okay, introduce yourselves. Kakashi asked as Naruto smiled. Sure. Uzumaki Naruto, I like my precious persons, and training, and ramen. I dislike those who are arrogant, those who inflict pain on others, and hurting my precious persons. I think that training is a good hobby, and cooking. My dream is to be the first female Hokage, being acknowledged, and maybe dating someone. She did this flawlessly. Sasuke smirked in satisfaction. Okay, now you, Pinky. Kakashi told Sakura as he analyzed Naruto and found that she changed, hopefully for better. Haruno Sakura. I like. She glanced at Sasuke who glared at her coldly. My hobby is. My dream is. She stammered as she realized that her crush definitely hated her. Interesting in a fantasy. Poor kid. Kakashi thought sadly, it was a shame. Anything you hate. Naruto baka. She screeched only to be hit with the most horrible killing intent. Sasuke gave her a glare so cold she felt herself freezing halfway to death. Kakashi palmed his face. Obito wasn't this overprotective. Okay, scary devil. Kakashi called Sasuke who twitched and was glad that his mouth was covered. Uchiha Sasuke. I like only one person, and hate a lot more than I should in my age. I have no hobbies, but I have a goal, to turn this world upside down, and marry a certain unique girl. Sasuke's cold tone became warm whenever he mentioned Naruto, but he was also so sad when he said the last goal he had. As if he failed at that once. Okay, tomorrow at 7 training ground 3. Don't be late. Sasuke, we need to talk in private. Kakashi said before he shunshined away. Sasuke rose up as he went to think for once. Sasuke-kun, can I go with you? Sakura asked the Uchiha who shook his head. Sakura, I can. Naruto begun only for the Pinkett to screech at her like a banshee. No. Get off my sight baka. Sakura yelled only for Sasuke to glare at her. Sakura, you're really annoying for a dead weight. Sasuke whispered before he shunshined away with Naruto, leaving Sakura alone. Training Ground 3, Kakashi, I am not going to be held back by some fangirl. Sasuke replied coldly. Naruto was about to say something before she closed her mouth. You know what, Naruto, please take this day off. I can smell your blood. Sorry about it. Kakashi told the girl who was on the verge of tears only for Kakashi to point at a direction. Oi, Hyuga-san, please take care of your friend for us. Hinata showed herself while she poked her fingers shyly. Naruto smiled as she found her best friend. As the Uzumaki went to the Hyuga, Kakashi sighed. Okay, Sasuke, we need to talk about Sakura, your goal, and yourself. I don't know what to do with an enigma such as yourself. Kakashi asked the Uchiha who smirked at him. I already have a plan. Also, about her, she's better off with Kurenai. Not that it is not within your right to accept only 2 students, no. Sasuke smirked as he knew about that fact. Naruto, well, the past Naruto was very enlightening if he must admit. How did you know? Also, what did you mean by that you have a plan? Kakashi asked his student who gave him a look that showed a lot of maturity and wisdom for a 12 years old. I'm actually 20 mentally, if not in my 40s. I know many stuff from the future. As crazy as it sounds. However, I am the same Sasuke that she knows, only merged with my older self if that makes any sense. My power, my knowledge and my chakra is of the future, yet my mind is that of this current me. In short, I traveled through time, just to have a second chance. Sasuke decided to test Kakashi who gave him a sad look. Okay. I think that it's either a mental trauma, either you really are from the future, kinda. Kakashi replied calmly as Sasuke pointed at his left covered eye and said one name. Uchiha Obito. Sasuke said calmly. On the inside however, he had already decided to kill the traitor of the Uchiha clan. Itachi was manipulated to do the worst act of betrayal, even if he had already forgiven him, it depended entirely on their mother. How? Oh I see. You really are from the future. So, why? Kakashi asked Sasuke whose eyes became wet when he remembered why. Naruto died with our child. I decided not to live in hell, as I know that here I can protect her from everyone and everything. This is my atonement, my redemption. Sasuke replied in a heartbreaking tone. Kakashi did something he never thought that he would ever do. He hugged his student. Kakashi asked Sasuke one question. Did you feel anything? Kakashi asked the Uchiha who gave him his tired, dull, dead glance, his eyes were that of a corpse. I felt like I should have died. Now I remember exactly what happened. Sasuke muttered. He felt his hatred and rage return slowly to him. As his Susanoo matured more and more, he remembered how Naruto rejected that daimyo's relative proposal, he remembered how she was sent to a mission despite her pregnancy and illness, how Tsunade's report about her having a deathly virus, a chakra network irreversible damage due to a seal and the effect of the Rakudo Senjutsu chakra, he remembered how he felt her slip away. How he held her hand, how she made him promise her that he will protect Konoha, how she died in his arms. How he lost his only light was taken away because of these fucking pampered son of whores, these fancy-wearing treacherous swines. These motherfucking pieces of bird shit. Sasuke cursed as he then calmed himself down. I have nothing more to share, except the fact that her dream will lead to her demise if we're not being careful. Sasuke replied calmly. As much as he hated Konohagakure, and the shinobi world, he hated the political game more than anything. He gave Kakashi a meaningful look before he shunshined away. Sasuke cut his own palm as he made his vow to his mother's grave, letting the blood seep down before he disappeared once again. Kakashi raised an eyebrow as Sasuke bandaged his injury, to a great effect before he used his yang chakra to speed up his healing process, a trick he learned from the future Naruto. I swear, from this moment onward, I, Uchiha Sasuke, son of Uchiha Makoto, and descendant of Uchiha Madara, I vow to always protect Uzumaki Naruto. I vow to kill anyone who harms her after killing each and every person they care about. I vow to make her political enemies disappear. I vow to always do what I must to save her and protect her. I vow to be her moon. Sasuke vowed as Kakashi's eyes were filled in shock at how cold Sasuke was while he made that vow. Cold sweat covered the Hatake as he felt a foreboding feeling. He did not like this. This kid might look like a kid, but he was literally the devil in a preteen's flesh. One more time, Kakashi sensed Sasuke's chakra, and this time, he felt terrified. A gargantuan, four-armed, winged tanguesque behemoth of a creature with four horns on its forehead, a giant beak with jagged fangs-like teeth, and two devil-like horns was sensed along Sasuke's chakra. That being of darkness gave Kakashi a true nightmare fuel. It was almost as big as the Kyuubi, and its chakra felt more evil than anything he ever knew. What was that evil darkness? Sasuke. What is that demonic humanoid giant that surrounds your chakra? Kakashi stuttered in fear as Sasuke's eyes widened in shock. Kakashi was able to sense his Susanoo. You tell anyone of this, you die. Sasuke threatened coldly. It's sentient to an extent. That's my will. Can you use it? Kakashi asked the Uchiha, who shook his head. Not yet. He answered before he sighed. I don't intend to. Now it's not the right time. What should I do with you? Kakashi asked a now grinning Sasuke. Train Naruto in everything that makes her at least a solid chunin, and I mean, everything. As for me, I guess that you can train me in physical conditioning, strength and speed. And maybe a few advanced chakra control stuff. About Sakura, she might or might not pass, but under Kurenai, I'm sure she'll thrive. Sasuke told Kakashi, who sighed dejectedly. This kid will be the end of him. One more thing, she lacks self-confidence and self-esteem, as, well, she had a very horrible childhood. If you can't see underneath the underneath, then I doubt that you can be as mature as your age, Kakashi. The way Sasuke spoke, it reminded Kakashi of one person. Sasuke, how come you're almost as mature as sensei? Kakashi asked, then it hit him. The time travel thing was not a lie. Well, if that's all, I'm going to meditate. I need to know who I am, but I can't just get drunk so. Sasuke said as he went under a tree and focused on himself once again. Sasuke remembered many memories of her that are yet to come. He remembered many things that he shouldn't have known. Itachi being innocent, the massacre's dirty secret, Naruto's parents being who they were, Naruto's likes and dislikes. He was just walking on instinct the entire time, not knowing himself. He blamed his lack of maturity on him being a preteen who barely reached puberty. He blamed his pushing towards the girl for being completely confused. He now was thinking as he tried to merge his past and present. His younger self was lacking many things. He blamed his cold personality on the fact that not only he lost his entire family, but also his instinct to be an introvert. He then remembered past Sasuke, the happy kid who was an extrovert to an extent, and was able to have a sense of humor. He settled down in one decision. He came back to atone his biggest sin, letting his wife and child die. Sasuke never told Naruto how much he loved her, how much she meant to him, how their bond meant the world to him, how in the final battle he held back to kill her, as he wanted just to make her understand his view, as his partner, as his lover, as his wife. Yet, he failed. Naruto didn't die in a battle against a Konoha foe, not against a Biju, not against a goddess, not against the world's strongest, but to an illness, a virus, and a seal. It made his blood boil when he thought that her death wasn't like it meant to be. She was meant to die from old age, she was meant to die in a battle after him, not dying as a pregnant woman. His Avenger self was crying for him to kill each and every son of a bitch that caused her death, his child self screamed at him to protect her, and his future self vowed to be there for her. However, his older self reminded him of his bonds to Taka, of his loyalty to his two brothers and sister in all but blood. Sasuke felt himself torn. Then his mind came to a conclusion. He needed all three Sasuke. He needed all three parts of himself. He needed to unite them. Naruto. It was always Naruto. He realized that he felt pretty much all emotions towards her, good and bad, but most of all, he felt a protective, possessive love towards her. His three parts somehow nodded at each other before they finally merged. His sometimes chaotic chakra had finally calmed down. His Susanoo smirked evilly at him, as he felt finally something he never felt in a long time, a warmness in his heart. He decided to seal the fate of everything, and soon enough, he will do just that. He will make his planning, and the sooner the better. Naruto and Hinata, the two girls, walked together as they joked and talked about anything and everything. The blonde told her something she wasn't supposed to say. Nata-chan, you think that Sasuke truly loves me? Naruto asked her friend, whispered to her friend, who gave her a warm smile. I don't think so, I know so, but that's our secret. He told me that he consider you his only remaining precious person. The Hyuga surprisingly pushed her friend to the right direction. But, what if he changes his mind? What if I don't even know what love is. Sure, hate, disdain, and fear I had in spades and tons to spare, but love. I need to think, what if I drive him off me? What if I do something and he'll abandon me for someone else? Naruto felt her heart clench at the last sentence. She could not imagine that for some odd reason. Naru-chan, give him time, tell him the truth. Hinata's words were like a magic. Besides, Sasuke-kun is deeper than you think. I know that for a fact. You choose the best boy, no, man, for yourself. I'm proud of you. This is why. Because he's a man. Naruto asked Hinata, who giggled at her now tilted head. This girl is too cute. Exactly. Naru-chan, we seek people who are either polar opposite, either different, but we seek the same things. Sasuke-kun is someone who's definitely a perfect match for you. Hinata replied as she then asked her friend, what's so good about him? I don't know, he knows my pain. To an extent, he's distant to all of his fangirls, which means that he probably doesn't like them one bit. He respects strength, he was really nice to me, and told me that he would never abandon me without a really good reason. Naruto replied as she blushed at the thought, he's also kind, caring, and his eyes have an amazing warmth in them, unlike anyone else. She muttered the last part sadly. Naru-chan, why did you want to become the Hokage? Hinata asked her friend, who sighed. Come to think about it, she never gave it a lot of thoughts. Maybe because then they'll acknowledge me. Maybe then I will. No, it's so stupid. I just wanted to show everyone that kunoichis can be as strong as shinobis. Naruto replied seriously as Hinata's eyes widened. Oh, if she only knows. However, there would always be one shinobi who'll be stronger than her. So, wanna hang out with Kurenai-sensei and I mean a girl's thing. Hinata asked Naruto, who gave her an uncertain look. Sasuke. Nata-chan, can you tell me about girls bleeding from there? Naruto asked the Hyuga, who blushed. Naruto didn't even know. Naruto-chan, what happened? When? Hinata's question made the blonde double take it. She gave her an ashamed look. Sasuke was with me yesterday when it happened. He was there for me. Naruto replied shyly, ashamed and embarrassed. Hinata just squealed at her best friend. Naru-chan, never let that Uchiha go. He genuinely cares about you, if not even love you. Hinata's words made Naruto blush a deep crimson shade. With Kakashi and Sasuke sneezed awake. Kakashi raised an eyebrow at his student, who shrugged. Naruto was definitely talking about him to Hinata. For better or for worse, come hell or high water, Naruto belongs to him, and he will kill every fucker who harmed her in any shape, way or form, after killing said person's entire family. That way, they will understand a bit of his hatred. Then again, he remembered that he'll have to go away too. Well, kill Obito at the very least, and the entire Akatsuki at best. He made a very long list in his mind about it, and he came to a conclusion. He will not let Naruto become a puppet like every other Hokage saved from Hashi. No, he was a buffoon. Tobi. Fuck that piece of shit. Hiru. Nope. He fucked up royally by allowing the daimyo to put his hand up his ass like a fucking sock monkey puppet. Tsunade was his bet, if she wasn't a vindictive bitch. Naruto once said the truth, and that was enough to prevent her promotion. This meant one thing only. He will talk about what being the Hokage really means. He knows that the blonde is too stubborn, but maybe a few words backed up by Kakashi would put it through her skull. Oh, he really hoped to clear that misconception. Probably with the help of that weak leader called Hiruzen. This was not a good thing to do, but if he manages to pull it off, Naruto will finally understand how heavy the hat really hangs. He sighed dejectedly. He absolutely hated doing this, but he had no choice. Naruto was his light, his sun, his love, his everything. Come to think about it. He felt the entire world empty without her, literally, and if not for his obligation to Taka, he would never leave her side, never. Rio, for your thoughts. Kakashi asked his soon-to-be prize student, who sighed forlornly. I have to protect her. She will soon have a lot of enemies, but I just can't do it here. I have to go alone one day. Sasuke told Kakashi sadly, dejectedly and miserably. Worry not, she will understand you. By the way, how much do you know? Kakashi asked Sasuke, who sighed. I have to kill a certain man, a snake and a hatchling viper. That's all. Then, I will make a special team that will turn the world upside down. Sasuke's tone promised delivery soon enough. You're going to have your hands full, you know. Kakashi asked Sasuke, who sighed. Yeah. One day, I will go to a snake, infect his nest, then kill him and his viper buddy. Then I will take revenge, and then finally, I will do something incredible. Any problem? Sasuke asked Kakashi, who smiled behind his mask. None whatsoever if the Hokage knows. So, we keep it a secret. Kakashi asked Sasuke, who smirked evilly. You bet my life we keep it that way. Let's pretend that I never said anything. Sasuke smirked as Kakashi's eye smile made him realize that there is something. If you harm my Naruto. Got it, terrifying Uchiha with tremendous eyes. Kakashi swore mentally at letting a mere 12 years old preteen control him somehow. Was this how the Anbu under his command felt? He can sympathize with that. By the way, Kakashi, do you want to pull a prank on some assholes who harmed Naruto-chan? Sasuke's question went unanswered, if not for the mischievous glint in Kakashi's lone eye. Later Naruto went to the apartment as she felt that Sasuke was probably done with his training. To her surprise, the Uchiha was there, with a shogi board, playing a game against himself. That moment, she became worried about his mental health. Yo, going crazy on me? Naruto asked Sasuke, who turned toward her, his Rinnegan blazing before it turned to a pair of warm onyx pools. Can't you say Tadaima of once? Okairi, Yuzuratonkachi-chan. He smirked as she huffed at him. God, she was adorable when she's being angry. Then, he noticed something. So, you left me with a cycloptic trolling Jonin to paint your nails. Nice. Oh, cut it, Tem-kun. Naruto warned as he smirked at her. Oh, so this is on. Okay, how's your first day, Naruto-chan? Sasuke asked the Uzumaki, who blushed, realizing his words, you're finally a big girl and all. At this, she kicked him in his thigh. HMPH. None of your business. I thought that you're a man, unlike the others. She replied as he smirked. Oh, I'm a man all right. Here. He pointed at his head, and especially here. He pointed at his crotch, making the blonde blush. Arrow Tem. She accused and he grinned. He knew that this was kinda cruel, creepy even, but she deserved it. Only with you. When? Let's see, maybe. Naruto blushed like a tomato as he approached her, his mouth too close to hers before. He kissed her cheeks. Not now. Like hell I'd put you in danger. Sasuke smirked as she gave him a questioning look. Besides, go take a shower. It's not a good idea, we're only 12. Maybe when you're 16 and more mature in your mind, I would take that offer. Fuck you, Tem. Naruto insulted the Uchiha, who smirked. Good offer, but I'm afraid of being accused to be a pedophile. His chuckles, well, silent chuckling and howl of laughter inside made her blush, flip him off and go to take a shower. He smirked as she left. Only you, my Naruto-koi, only you. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.